there were roughly 4 million finalized foreclosures in the United States between September 2008 and September 2012. In September 2012, over 1.4 million properties, or 3.3% of all mortgaged homes, were in some stage of foreclosure, up from 1.5 million, or 3.5%, in September 2011. In September 2012, 57,000 houses went into foreclosure, down from 83,000 the previous September, but still far over the 2000 to 2006 monthly average of 21,000 completed foreclosures. A variety of voluntary private and government-administered or supported programs were implemented during 2007 to 2009 to assist homeowners with case-by-case mortgage assistance. To mitigate the foreclosure crisis engulfing the U.S. during late 2008, major banks and both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac established moratoriums, delays, on foreclosures, to give homeowners time to work towards refinancing. In 2009, over $75 billion of the package was specifically allocated to programs that help struggling homeowners. This program is referred to as the Homeowner Affordability and Stability Plan. Is there a housing bubble in 2022? When a new generation of homebuyers enters the market, housing bubbles often arise naturally as a result of population expansion. As a result of this expansion, the demand for housing is expected to rise. Speculators, excellent economic circumstances, low interest rates, and the wide variety of financing alternatives are all elements that will lead to an increase in home values. Increased demand drives up costs because of the building time lag. Anytime housing prices diverge significantly from demographically based organic demand, the broader economy is at risk of entering a state of crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic did not slow home prices at all. Instead, it skyrocketed. In September 2020, they were a record $226,800, according to the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. According to the National Association of Realtors, the sales rate hit 5.86 million houses in July 2020, rising to 6.86 million by October 2020, surpassing the pre-pandemic record. Many people were taking advantage of the low interest rates to purchase either residential properties or income-based flats that appeared to be inexpensive. Home prices rose 18.8% in 2021, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index, the biggest increase in 34 years of data and substantially ahead of the 2020's 10.4% gain. The median home sales price was $346,900 in 2021, up 16.9% from 2020, and the highest on record going back to 1999, according to the National Association of Realtors. Home sales had the strongest year since 2006, with 6.12 million homes sold, up 8.5% from the year before. As speculators entered the market, home prices skyrocketed, exacerbating the housing market bubble. Now it reaches a time when home prices are no longer affordable to buyers. Rising prices make properties unsustainable, causing them to be overpriced. In other words, pricing increases. Low inventory, fierce competition, and large price increases have harmed purchases since 2020, but quickly rising mortgage rates are making it much more difficult to find an affordable house. As prices become unsustainable and interest rates rise, purchases withdraw. Borrowers are discouraged from taking out loans when interest rates rise. On the other side, house construction will be affected as well. Costs will rise, and the market supply of housing will shrink as a result. In contrast to a sudden jump, a sustained rise in interest rates will inflict little damage on the housing market. Rising rent costs and mortgage rates, which increased from an average of just 3.2% at the beginning of the year to 5.81% by mid-June, have increased the cost of housing, pricing many individuals out of the market. This has resulted in a decline in house sales since an increasing number of individuals are unable to buy homes at the present inflated prices. According to NAR, existing home sales declined for the fourth consecutive month in May, falling 3.4% from April and 8.6% from the same period last year. Given the relative scarcity of available homes, the majority of analysts concur that a decline in housing prices is improbable. In addition to rising mortgage rates and subsequently less demand, a downturn might exert downward pressure on home prices. Despite many similarities to the housing bubble of 2008, the present housing market is quite different from it. Homeowners with mortgages are not at a high risk of default, housing values are mostly determined by supply and demand rather than speculation, and lending rates continue to rise. Accordingly, the concept of a housing market crash is deemed improbable by a number of industry professionals. Many analysts believe that sky-high mortgage rates and the associated drop in housing demand will moderate the increase of home prices rather than result in any significant reversal in prices or a crash, which is generally defined as a widespread drop in home prices. However, in the event that a more widespread recession hits the economy of the United States, the conditions might be created for a little decline in housing values. A deeper and more widespread economic downturn is likely to prompt a greater number of homeowners to sell their homes than would be the case otherwise. Because of the rise in available inventory, housing prices could experience some leveling out as a result. It is also possible that a recession may just serve to limit the increase of property values, which is what many people anticipate would happen if interest rates continue to climb. However, it is still challenging to bring prices down because there are only limited properties available for purchase. The number of people applying for mortgages has already dropped by more than 50% since this time last year. It is not unrealistic to foresee a further decline in home demand given the impending implementation of additional rate increases. This will serve to rebalance the housing market, which is now squeezed, but it won't necessarily bring it to the point where it crashes.